Hello everyone, and welcome to a celebration of Bloodborne's 10-year anniversary. Yes, as this video comes out, it should be the very day of that anniversary, and of course the rest of the playthrough will be a little bit off, but, you know, we have to start somewhere, so let's start here. And as you can see, I've just pressed a button, and we are not connected to the internet. That's because we are going to be playing 1.00. That's right, we are back to the beginning here to celebrate where Bloodborne began as we get to this major milestone in its history. And as you could probably also tell from the fact that that network information thing was in Japanese, I am playing the Japanese version of the game. So I have the Japanese disc. It has not been updated with any patches. There is no DLC. There is no any of that. This is just Bloodborne as you would have bought it in 2015 when it came out in Japan. So here we are. And let me just make sure. Okay, we've got all our text and voice are standard, which means the text is going to be Japanese and the voices are going to be in English. So that's kind of fun. So let's back out of this, and let me just make sure my environmental settings are good. Okay, very nice. So let's go ahead and start the game. I mean, let's get past these menus and start the game.
Oh, yeah. Paleblood. Well, you've come to the right place. Yharnam is the home of blood ministration. You need only unravel its mystery. But where's an outsider like yourself to begin? Easy, with a bit of Yharnam blood of your own. But first, you'll need a contract.
And here we are. This is our character creation screen, which is sort of the bane of my existence. But let's go ahead and change a few things around. My main translation-born playthrough, I played as a male character, so we're going to play female. This is a celebration of the 10-year anniversary, so we're going to be old. Let's see, our past. So this is an interesting thing about Bloodborne. We've got all these different pasts to choose from. At the time when this game came out, it was the Dark Souls games used like classes, I believe it was, which admittedly had something to do with your past, but still not quite the same. I've gone through, I think, all of these in my Translation-born series. I'm not going to be talking too much about the translation. I'm not going to be talking too much about the lore here and there. This is just going to be me sort of spouting contemporaneous thoughts as I play the game, so don't expect anything too in-depth. Although I will note, so at the very first, at the right-hand side of the screen, all the way at the top, it says level, deberu in Japanese, and we have, for this Cruel Fate, it is level 10. For this Waste of Skin, I think is the translation, this is level 4. All these other ones are level 10 here. So the lowest level that you can start at is level 4. And despite my saying a minute ago that this wasn't going to be a lore through, I can't help myself sometimes. There's some aspects of the lore that I'm going to be commenting on. I want to make sure people don't get lost as the main story goes on either, so I'll be trying to touch on a few basic things for as far as that's concerned as well. But, you know, lore-wise, I think it's significant to note, you can't start at level 1. And I know this was a big deal back in the day for people who like to do challenge runs. They were like, oh, well, they won't let us play at level 1. That's sort of cheap. What's wrong with this? And I think that lore-wise, though, it is very cool that you can't start at level 1. Because, and maybe this is the fact that I started with Demon Souls coming out, back in Demon Souls, which is way older than Bloodborne, which was my first exposure to the Souls series, all this stuff, you can get this dialogue from the person in that game who levels you up, which sort of implies that leveling up is a bad thing, because you're using the soul arts, and the soul arts are sort of the cause of all the misery that's happening around you, and so by leveling up, you're participating in the soul arts, and you're sort of tainting yourself by going through that process. In this case, there is no way. Back in those games, you could play at level 1, right? So you could just theoretically never use any of the soul arts, and you could get this weird, I don't know, lore-based reward for never relying on them. And in this case, there's no opt-out. No matter what you do, you've accepted some of Yharnam's blood, is the way that I read it anyway. You are getting this blood transfusion at the start of the game. Your character, outside of your control, has come here. They're going to get this blood transfusion, and whatever you choose, you can't start out with nothing in your blood. You have to take some of Yharnam's blood, which, as far as I'm concerned, is what allows part of this whole blood echo thing to happen. That I'm sure I'll talk about blood echoes at some point as we go through this playthrough, possibly in the very near future. But I feel like I've already gone on at length enough, made my point probably a little bit in too roundabout of a fashion, and that's going to be that. So, what sort of playthrough are we going to go through for this time? I think that's the highest arcane. I want to do an arcane playthrough. I think it fits the idea of a 10-year celebration, because this is the sort of playthrough that lets you do a little bit of everything. And the arcane, the Shimpi over there, the divine mystery, the however you want to call it, is sort of an ongoing idea in the world of Bloodborne. Everyone's trying to figure out these mysteries. This is, oh, by the way, I have done some reading. I've read up a lot of the interviews that the director Hidetaka Miyazaki gave sort of at the time, around the time of Bloodborne's release, and maybe a little bit after its release with the Future Press Guide. He's given some of his thoughts on the development of the game, and one of the things he said in the interviews that I want to sort of be having these in the back of my mind as I go through this game, reflect on it after it's been out for 10 years, is thinking about what was the development process like in this particular moment in the Soulsborne story. And in this particular moment, one of the things they were looking to explore, one of the themes for this game that director Hidetaka Miyazaki has stated several times, is they want to get at the idea of exploring the unknown. And they mean that in terms of level design, they mean that in terms of the story. One of the major themes is exploring the unknown. Shimpi is divine mystery. It's by its nature mysterious and unknown. We're going to explore the unknown by choosing cruel fate. Kakoku na unme. So that's us. And do I care about the face? I do care about a name. I have to give a name. There's like an auto face thing, right? Right, and while I'm looking for that on the gameplay side of things, I thought this would be a good opportunity for a brief self-introduction for anyone who might be new here. Hi, my name is Matt, though I also go by Arukimania, and I'm a freelance translator who's been slowly analyzing the translation of Bloodborne for the past 8 years. Since I'm editing my own videos, you'll occasionally get these scripted interjections from me in editing mode, as well as other instances where I have to re-record some audio for one reason or another. The hope is that this enhances rather than detracts from the experience. So rather than overstay my welcome, let's get back to gameplay, Matt, so we can get on with the start of the game. All right, I've been on the screen for too long. Let's do this ghastly white. I think it's cool. All right, I hate these screens, so let's come up with a name. Whoops. I said let's come up with a name. All right. What do I call this? Let's call this Deca, because it's been 10 years. There we are. There. Zero thought put into the character creation. That's how I like to do it. Oh, and here we are. It's the Bloodborne screen. This is one of the things I'm going to be leaving in loading screens for the first episode, because for me, this is one of the biggest flags of the original experience of playing through Bloodborne. In later versions of the game, they have like item text that, first of all, they trimmed the loading times so you can load into areas faster than you could in 1.00. And second of all, they have like item screens and descriptions that pop up that can give you something to occupy your mind while you're not just staring at the word Bloodborne. Oh, I'll be quiet.
Good. All signed and sealed. Now, let's begin the transfusion. Oh, don't you worry. Whatever happens, you may think it all a mere bad dream.
You found yourself a hunter.
And here we are. It's Yosefka's clinic. This is so fun. Sorry, everybody. You're just going to have to put up with me just sort of enjoying myself like this. I was talking about the loading screens. That's one of the big things. You just stare at the word Bloodborne for way too long. That's one of the things that when this game first came out, everybody was complaining about. So just to give you a little taste of that, I'm going to be cutting out loading screens in future episodes. But for this one, we're going to leave them all in. Okay, so very important here for the lore, we have this note here. Let's investigate it, and it says, Jihitsu no Hashirigaki. And that Jihitsu part, I think probably everybody knows this by this point, because it's become a famous point of lore that's been sort of lost in translation, sadly. The Jihitsu sort of refers to your own hand. And that's something that I believe the official English just says handwritten scrawl. It's your own handwritten scrawl. So this is a note that we've written to ourselves. And it tells us to seek Paleblood to transcend the hunt, is the official translation. More literal version, Aozametachi is like paled blood, blued blood. It's very literal. Listen to me, I'm already going on about the translation after I said I wasn't going to do that. This is kind of important, though. And then, of course, matto suru does not technically mean transcend. It sort of means complete. Fulfill, something like that. I'll probably put up a dictionary definition on the screen when I'm editing this episode. I'll do even more than that. I'll cut in because I think it's worth clarifying that my pointing these things out isn't meant as a criticism of the translators. I've long believed that the translation handwritten scrawl, in particular, was the result of tight character limits and the classification of a header. And since Bloodborne came out, we've learned that there was a really tight turnaround on these lore notes as a whole. As for completing versus transcending the hunt, I think there's good reason to like that translation choice, but sadly it won't be relevant to this playthrough, because I intend to do as I'm told at the end of this run, meaning we will arguably neither complete nor transcend the hunt. Anyway, I'll let Gameplay Matt sum up the key information here. But yeah, so we need to seek this pale blood to transcend the hunt. And if you'll recall, at the very opening of this, we had a cutscene where the blood minister was saying, "Oh yes, pale blood. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about." He's saying, he probably doesn't know exactly what we're talking about. He's just saying, you're looking for some rare, special kind of blood. Well, Yharnam's the home of blood administration, so you've come to the right place. And here's some blood for you. And that's what has kicked off this little joyride. Anyway, as far as we're concerned, we're able to recognize our handwriting, but we don't really know what's going on. So let's go ahead and pull up some of this attire. Listen to me getting into all this lore. I said I wouldn't do this. This is the live experience with Aruki Mania. Okay, let's see. Here we go. So the very last line here, Daga moha kyoku wa saraka denai. Tashka denai? I don't know. I'll look that up, and one of those is right. The meaning I know, is certain or set, right? So at this point, your memory is hazy. It's uncertain. Literally uncertain is probably the closest in meaning there. And I believe the official translation, English translation for these was that without memory, who will ever know? And if we go over here to, oops, put that back on. How indecent. I need to, how did I bring that up? Here we go. We see that same final line here in the chest piece. And let's bring up the bandages. And the audio glitched out here, but we can see that this one is different. The fourth line shows that we have a faint memory, kasukana kyoku, that this is blood ministration. And so you just sort of dimly, hazily recall getting that blood transfusion, that cutscene that we saw at the start of the game. That appears to be all that our character can remember. And as a result, we just have this vague memory of blood ministration. We can recognize our handwriting, but we don't know it's ours. And anyway, it's a sign of a unclear shoutai fume. It's I want to say shady, but that's totally that's a very vibes-based translation as opposed to actually like accurate. It's a unknown sort of the nature of which is not known. Blood transfusion. It's a remnant of that. That's what this bandage is. And right afterwards, the nightmare began. Akumu ga hajimatta no da. Now, is that nightmare the weird scene that we saw with the blood wolf and the strange creatures crawling over our bodies? Maybe. Maybe it's something else. Who knows? Well, we'll learn more. We'll learn a little more about that as we go on. And then let's see the pants. Okay, yeah. We have our uncertain memory again as the final line. Again, I'm not going to go into every last detail on the translation and every last detail on the lore, but I did want to go into that. Okay, I'm remembering how to attack, and let's move on out of this first room. Oh yeah, and I did want to mention, in the spirit of the 10-year anniversary of Bloodborne, we're like trying to re-experience some of the past where nobody really knows what's going on with this game. So in that spirit, I have sort of a wild lore theory. I'm not really sure how I feel about this myself. I'm not sure it's the best lore theory out there. And for all I know, I'm not super plugged into the like common lore theories Bloodborne community, so maybe someone's already proposed this and it's been shot down a billion times. I don't know. But for me, it's sort of a new idea. I want to play with the idea that our character, after that cutscene, either died or went into a coma. And so we don't just have regular amnesia, right? We have this faint memory of blood ministration, and that's like the first thing we can recall. I think this is potentially like our character's spirit has left their body. And well, we're running around here, right? Well, we're gonna see a little bit more about what's going on with that, and it's not gonna take long. So wait, why am I not running? Why am I not running? There we go. There we go. Okay, thank goodness. I'm just bad at noticing things. Cool. Okay. So we have this first beast here, chowing down. Maybe this is the nightmare. We wake up in this abandoned clinic, and this beast is just eating this corpse. Not very nice. No matter what we do, it's going to notice us. And I've got a chance here. Oh, nope. Might die. Very, very likely that I will die. But there is a chance... Ooh, am I going to get it? I got it. That we can take out this beast and survive. Yeah, let's get some blood vials. Get some blood vials going. Oh, here's another difference for 1.00. Oh, we also have this weird hunter's mark. I have no idea what to make of this hunter's mark. It's not a rune, but it acts like a rune. It's this thing that's etched in our mind. I feel like it's a gameplay concession, but I don't know. That's always a contentious thing. I, by the way, found that I'm generally more willing to go with concessions to... Oh, I can't look at blood vials. That's right. You can only do that at the shop. So I can't show you the inventory thing that I was going to show you. I'll get to it. Let's see. We can read these notes. This is a developer one, obviously, because I'm playing offline. I know in a later version of the game, if you pick up these bullets... you won't get a special bonus set of bullets that you automatically get later on. I don't know if that's true in 1.00. I have a vague memory that was changed. So I'm not really going to get into that. But here we are. Let's exit this place. We're exploring the unknown, right? This is one of the themes that the game's director was talking... Oh, look at me. I just picked up the bullets. You know what? I confused the treasure. Apparently, I don't have this game completely memorized. I'm sure there are people out there who have memorized what the treasures are. This is going to be blood vials, right? Yep. All right. Blood vials I definitely want. And whatever. Like 10 bullets, I'm not going to sweat it over the course of the entire game. Like, that's fine. Let's see. Is this the right door? Ooh, it's the right door. Okay. So the right door is the sort of obvious way to go. There's another door that we can find around here that won't open. Where are we going? It's directly the opposite way. So this door is closed by a device. So can't go through there just yet. But we can go out this way and enter Yharnam. This is Central Yharnam in the translation. Totally fine. Not particularly something that I would quibble with. Can run around here. You can see all these chained up coffins and things in the streets. It's a little unusual. So one potential lore theory that sort of ties into the idea that maybe our spirit's been separated from our body is sort of found in the idea that there's all this weird stuff littered around the world. Hey, buddy. Oops. That was not good timing. Okay. Maybe. Nope. Okay. Dodge past him. Around, please. There we go. Now you two are doomed. Hit with my visceral attack. Yeah. Goodbye. Oh, I have blood vials now. I was not healing before because I didn't have any blood vials against that werewolf. And then I came across some blood vials. There we go. Came across some more blood vials. That stuff... Let's go for it. Hey, buddy. Hey, other buddy. Come on, friends. Can I just lure you away? Yeah, let's just... Yeah, swing at me. Alright, good idea. Now I'm going to come over here. Pick these up. And... Oh! Get trapped. Get smacked in the face. Okay. Do I want to deal with these two guys? I don't think I do. I think I'm probably going to die. And if I want to, I want to show off... Uh-oh. Whoop. That you don't have to die. Because this is something that's been in the game from the beginning. Let's pull this. Gotta lower that ladder. Alright, are they coming? They're not coming. Good. That gives me an excuse to start climbing the ladder. Press X to go a little faster. X in the Japanese version of the game. This is the cancel button, so it would be circle in the North American release. There is a strange, beastly cry. Look at how they hit you with all this weird stuff at the start of the game. They hit you with, like, you start in a clinic that you sort of vaguely remember, but the guy who you remember, hey, fall. The guy who you remember being there isn't there. And the whole place seems deserted. It's very strange. And you come and the beast is feasting on someone's body, right? They're throwing you into this unfamiliar, weird situation. You have to pull this lever to drop this ladder to come up here. Or most likely, actually, you die to that beast in the clinic. That's what I did the first time I played this game. Just died instantly. Oh, hello! Just died instantly, as I was about to there, probably. Alright, this is never going to work. Oh, you survived You're the guy from before. Alright, maybe I will die. Just in case, I'll mention, if you see this thing here, this lamppost sticking up out of the ground, if you activate that, you can go straight into the Hunter's Dream without having to die. And if you don't know what the Hunter's Dream is, it'll be a little bit more obvious. Yeah, I'm a fiend. Oh no! Please fall down again. Nope, I said fall down again! Please fall down! Yeah, it's all my fault. You're dead. That worked out pretty well. Alright, so we can activate this lamp. This lantern. There we go. And, we get a little explainer here, if I can talk. From this light? I don't know what the best translation for Tomori is. You can return to the Hunter's Dream. Right? You become able to return to the Hunter's Dream. The game expects you to have already died and gone to the Hunter's Dream, but you don't have to. And if you die, you'll wake up here at this lantern light, essentially. So let's go straight to the Hunter's Dream. And like I said, I'm going to leave in the loading screen. I'm reflexively pulling back on what I want to say here because I'm thinking, I'm going to cut the loading screen. And in order to maintain a coherent stream of thought, I need to pause. No, I don't. I talk right over this. And, never mind. Here we are. Hunter's Dream. All right, Karyudo no Yume. Very obviously Hunter's Dream. So this here is sort of our base of operations for the game. We are inexplicably, it is inexplicable, but we are also inextricably tied to this place. That's an important point for the lore. And I'm not good enough to do it. But if you play through this game without ever dying, there comes a point in this game where you simply have to come here. You beat a boss and you wake up in this Hunter's Dream, and there's something that's different about it. It's not exactly the same cutscene that you get, slight alterations, kind of cool. Definitely not worth the crazy reward for playing through the entire game without dying, if you ask me, because that's way too hard for me. There are people who are way better at games than me who can do that sort of thing. I think it's awesome that they've done that, because they've established the fact that no matter what, we are tied to this dream. And if you look at these guys, hey, they should look familiar. They were crawling all over us before, right? Okay, here they are again. Let's get some... Oh, we've had them identified. They are Shisha. They are messengers. It's probably a pun. Shisha is, if you use different set of kanji, can mean the dead, those who are dead. This is those who serve instead. So, a little bit of a pun there. And let's see, we're going to offer us a weapon. Which weapon do we want? So my very first playthrough, I picked the Hunter Axe and I put it into its transform mode, and that was literally the only thing I did for 3 full playthroughs of the game. I didn't use any sort of fancy transformation attacks. I didn't use anything. I just used the two-handed axe all the way through the entire game. So part of me is drawn to getting that going. Another part of me likes the idea of the threaded cane because it's a very different weapon than I normally use. In my Translation-Born playthrough, I use this weapon like for a huge portion of the game. It's still sort of my secondary weapon even after I pick up the Tonitrus. Let's do it. Let's go with the threaded cane. Technically it's Shikomizue, right? So it's like it's a cane with a trick to it, sort of is the idea. Shikomi technically means like a device that's been worked with a device. I think it's the same term that we see with when we come to a place that's like a door that's closed by a device like I got to earlier. I think it's the same word, but if not, it's something very similar. So the idea is it's like a device installed cane, but I mean, trick cane. I forget. I don't think the threaded cane is the official translation, but let's equip it. That would help so you can actually see it. So as you can see, it looks like a regular ordinary cane. And then if we transform it, ta-da! Look at that. It looks like it's, threaded together. And then of course we do that and we're back to our typical cane. All right. And we also get a gun. So we can choose the pistol or the blunderbuss. I always choose the pistol. Always. I'd rather have that accuracy. Okay. Then the spread shot and goes a little bit further. So actually one of the sort of the other themes of the game that I was reading about in these interviews, these developer interviews, was that of a life and death struggle. So we have exploring the unknown, which I was talking about before, all the weirdness that you're thrown into, you having to wake up in this weird clinic and climb this ladder and touch this weird lamp and come to this weird place called the Hunter's Dream. So that's one of the themes of the game, we're exploring the unknown. Another theme of the game is life or death combat situations. And we could definitely see that before. I was scrambling for my life on top of that bridge, ladder, on top of that ladder. And that werewolf, terrifying. I've definitely died to that thing, totally died to it the first time I played this game. Hey, what's this over here? Oh, there's a doll has been abandoned here. And can we go in here? Yeah, we can go in here. The doors are open. So let's talk to this person. And I'll get back to my thought about the gun afterwards.
Aha. You must be the new hunter. Welcome to the Hunter's Dream. This will be your home for now. I am Gherman, friend to you hunters. You're sure to be in a fine haze about now, but don't think too hard about all of this. Just go out and kill a few beasts. It's for your own good. It's just what hunters do. You'll get used to it.
All right, anything else?
This was once a safe haven for hunters. A workshop where hunters used blood to enhance their weapons and flesh. We don't have as many tools as we once did, but you're welcome to use whatever you find. Even the doll, should it please you.
It's got me thinking along Demon Souls lines again, where it's like, maybe the right thing to do is not enhance yourself with blood echoes via the doll. Maybe as you do so, you become less and less human. I don't know.
This was once a safe haven for hunters.
Okay.
The work you're welcome to use.
Okay. Total repeat. That's good. I thought he had one more, but he didn't. All right, and this is where we can enhance our weapons, which I don't think we can do right now. Right, don't have any bloodstones. We can repair weapons, but I don't need to because I haven't used one. And we can leave. Okay, cool. But I was talking about guns. So the guns in this game were like one of the things that they looked to for a life and death struggle, because they wanted to make the game so that you felt this weird sort of terror. You felt this sort of terror at the enemies. And the gun was one way that they felt they could achieve this idea of a life or death struggle, particularly because they wanted to make it so that you couldn't rely on it exclusively. So they specifically, it sort of helped them hone in on the setting, because they wanted to have a gun to encourage this life or death battle system, but at the same time, which I guess I'll demonstrate a little bit later when we're actually fighting enemies, which at the same time helped them be like, okay, well, but we don't want guns to be overpowering everything. So we want to set the game at a period where guns can do some work, but they can't replace the work of these trick weapons, which are the stars of the show. So that's sort of how they sort of settled in on this Victorian Gothic setting. And over here we have, look at this. This is a 1.00 difference. I think you can just see the messengers in this bath from the start in current versions of the game. Certainly, at this point in 1.00, you need 10 insight before you can see. And our insight is measured up on the top right. The very top right is blood echoes, and then we have insight. I'm just throwing around these terms like they're nothing, because I've been playing this game for 10 years. If anyone's confused by all this, go ahead and leave a comment, and I'll try and explain. I hope my in-game explanations aren't too terrible. This is one of the perils of having me just pontificate as I play. But it says in this suibon, it's like a saucer of water, this bath, right? Is connected, appears to be connected to the nightmare. Akumu ni tsujite iru yoda. Shikashi, shisha no tsugata wa mienai. Right? So even though this is connected to the nightmare, you can't see any messengers. Weird. Right? We'll need to get 10 insight in order to do it. And it's coming up with a prompt that says we can trade insight. Well, technically trade Keimo, trade enlightenment. But I'm 100% fine with the translation of that as insight. I'm just going to be using that term for the entire game. And then over here, look, we can see a messenger even without any of the insight. And this is a fun fact. Did you see him clap his hands? Maybe he'll do it again. Yep, there he goes. As I approach, he sort of claps his hands and looks at me. Shopkeepers, that's like a stereotypical gesture that shopkeepers will do in Japan to like drum up business. They'll like clap their hands and call you over. And this is a shopkeeper. So we can exchange blood echoes to gain items. So, and this is where we can look at blood vials for the first time. And, oops, I'm wanting to show about these. I totally forget. Here are the bullets. This shop is the only place where you can actually look at the description for blood vials and quicksilver bullets. So, yeah, I think I just wanted to show, oh right, the inventory. So if you look at the bottom left, you can see that I currently have 10 of 20 in my active inventory, and I have 0 of 99 in storage. And in the modern version of the game, 1.09, and I think fairly quickly, like it wasn't the last of the updates that they introduced this, it was fairly early on. The maximum number of blood vials you could have in storage is 600. Same thing with quicksilver bullets, maximum 600 in storage. Maximum of 20 on your person is standard, and you can find different ways during the game to raise that like on-hand number. But at the moment, this is what we've got, and huge substantial change to the balance of the game, because man, there are some bosses that even though I have 600 blood vials in storage and a full, like 100% maxed out blood vials, there's some bosses in the Chalice dungeons where it's just like, okay, I'm going to go through my entire stock in attempting to beat this boss and just have to replenish them. So having to do that with the limit of 99, whew, I hope I don't die too much or have to use too many blood vials in this playthrough. I'm not the best player in the world, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, we're going to listen to Gherman's advice for a little bit here. I've been talking, lore and translation and all the stuff I said I wasn't going to talk about. Let's go and play the game a little bit. Going to go back to Yosefka's clinic, because I want to talk to the doctor. And this part of the game, like, completely confused me when I started playing, because there wasn't a lamp in the clinic when we started. I don't think there was. I can review the footage and show that it's not there technically, I guess. But now there is. So we could, when we died, we could suddenly gain access to it, or by accessing the second one that is there in the street. Look, here it is. Totally active. And here we are in the clinic. So first of all, I remember being confused. Wait, how can we teleport in here when this wasn't here before? And second of all, this room, like, we've been in this room before, but this isn't where we started. Remember how we got up off of that bed at the start of the game? Do I have, oh, I don't have a torch yet. Oh, well. We started and we came down the staircase. That place where we were on that cot, that bed, that hospital bed, is behind these doors. And initially, the first time I played this game, I could not figure that out. I am not the most spatially aware person in the world. I could not. I was like, it's got to be behind this door, right? Why can't we get back here? What's going on? And instead, you can just talk to this NPC. So I thought it was a totally different place and was very confused for a long time. But I no longer have that confusion. I've figured out, okay, yeah, it is just behind that door. No, we can't go back to where we started the game. Those doors are now shut to us. But we can talk to this person.
Are you out on the hunt? Then I'm very sorry, but I cannot open this door. I am Yosefka. The patients here in my clinic must not be exposed to infection. I know that you hunt for us, for our town, but I'm sorry. Please. This is all that I can do. Now, go. And good hunting.
Hey, thanks for the blood vial.
Are you still in need of something? But I have nothing more to offer. Please, try to understand my position. I can only pray for a fruitful hunt.
Me too. All right, is this...
Are you still in need of... But I have nothing... Please, I can...
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I figured that was the last of that dialogue. Am I going to bother with getting the special dialogue for Yosefka? I don't know. Oops. I'm in between Western and Japanese inputs here. Let's see. I think I want this in my initial slot. And then if I want to use the Yosefka's blood vial, I can just use it from the menu. I don't want to do that in this first episode. I want to go kill some beasts. So this is also interesting. That werewolf that we saw here, that spawned at half HP, it does not return. Most enemies in Bloodborne come back after you kill them. Doesn't matter how many times you kill them. The corpse is still here. Hey, buddy. This did not end well for you. But the enemy itself is gone. And that's pretty unusual for Bloodborne. So it shows you that I'm like basically convinced it's just a gameplay conceit. Is that they wanted to put that tough enemy there for the start of the game, get that initial kill, put you in fear for your life. Remember the life or death struggle? It's one of the themes of the game. Put you in fear for the life of that beast. But then, if you decide to go straight back into the clinic, they don't want to make it like an impassable barrier. So, once you beat it, it's gone. Actually, I don't know, because I haven't actually tested this. Maybe it goes away whether you beat it or not. Okay. And I'll burn. Also, I have confirmed, even if you put, so this game, as I've said and as you've doubtless noticed by now, the voice acting is in English. However, this game is one of the first ones where you can actually put it in the Japanese. You can switch to Japanese voices if you want. Yeah, curse upon me. However, this incidental dialogue from these characters, you beast, it's all your fault, all those things, those incidental phrases are going to be in English no matter what. And I take that just as a sign of the way that these games are made, where FromSoft, the developer, From Software is the full name, but I call them FromSoft, like everyone. FromSoft has put together this game in such a way as to... boy, I can't hold on to my thoughts for 2 seconds when I'm playing at the same time as trying to talk. But they've put together this game in such a way as to encourage you to lose your train of thought. I don't know if it's going to come back, guys. I'll try. Guys and gals, everybody watching. All right. Oh, this is going to be a playthrough. I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun. That's the important thing. All right. Ooh, there we go. There's a life and death struggle for you. I just made use of the rally system in a significant way. You see, I got pummeled, and then my health went down, but it didn't completely go away. There was a little fragmentary moment where I could potentially regain some health. And so when I hit that enemy after that blow, I healed a little bit. So I'm not as injured as I would otherwise be. And that's part of the life or death struggle that we have going on in the game of Bloodborne at all times. And it's one of the sort of fundamental mechanics that FromSoft was hoping to use in order to inculcate that feeling. And, oh, here's another way. Look at this. There's, how many of these guys? There's 4 of them. And large groups of enemies in the Soulsborne games basically spell your death. That's the nice thing about the Threaded Cane. It's a little bit of crowd control. Ooh, good dodge, me. Okay, and, alright, that's that guy. So I'm dividing and conquering, but if you just run down and try and fight all 4 of those people at the same time, you're probably gonna die. And I remember when I was first playing this game, I kept trying to be like, oh, what's the prompt for talk? These people look like people. They seem like they could be reasonable. How do I talk to them? And I kept running up to them and dying. I'd like press square and start to throw a pebble or a Molotov cocktail or something. And I just got destroyed because I didn't realize, nope, these people are like transformed, as you can see. They've got hair all over their faces. They've got, see, this one arm here is normal length. This arm over here, really long. What is that, the left arm? Yeah, the left arm, super long, hairy, furry, beastly, right? These people are transformed. They are not your ordinary people. So we are expected to kill them. And those particular people, the scary thing about them are their numbers. Then we have other enemies, like this person back here, who is, oh boy, that's a scary enemy. You just look at him. The way he's hulking around. You can hear the sound of his footsteps, the, like, creepy breathing noises. It's just terrifying. So I'm going to open this shortcut here. Ta-da! Oh, we should maybe look at the beautiful backdrops of Bloodborne. Sorry, I'm not the best at showing off the amazing architecture. They used all sorts of Gothic-style architecture for Bloodborne, of course. So let's try and parry this guy. Nope, as usual, I am way off. All right, well, first death of the series, there's gonna be many. Yes, I died. It's gonna happen again and again. Oh, and I'm leaving in the cutscene still. I've been going for a surprisingly long period of time. Boy, this is just too much fun. I'm having too much fun. Coming back to the start of Bloodborne. I'm sorry that I'm just sort of rambling on at you, but at this point, I think you have a good taste of what you're in for. I'm going to be running around talking about all these random things and maybe starting points and not finishing them, and hopefully at the same time trying to convey some of the feeling of what it was like to play Bloodborne for the first time. What I was, my experience playing Bloodborne for the first time, trying to actually talk, say words, you know, not the easiest, even when I'm not trying to play a video game. Super hard when I am. Yeah, it's going to be this sort of game, this sort of playthrough, having fun. I'll get a little bit into the nitty-gritty here and there, but, you know, nothing super serious. And now, look at this! Ha-ha! Look at that! Shortcut! Shortcut! Trademark shortcut for a Souls game. All right, this time, no! If I time that hit with my gun right, and I don't just instantly die over and over again, I can actually interrupt the enemy and perform that attack where I stick my hand into their body and destroy them that you saw before. That's called a visceral attack. And it took me forever, by the way, to realize that you could sneak up and backstab enemies and still get a visceral. The way that I was primarily getting visceral attacks at the start of this playthrough, where I was, you know, hoping to get an enemy from behind, hit them with that charged attack, knock them onto one knee, and then stick my hand in their back and then grab their heart and crush it, right? That clearly is the idea. While I was attempting to do that, I was... let's get back here. While I was doing that, I could never have done that the first time I wanted to play this game, because I didn't realize that you could do visceral attacks like that. I didn't realize there was backstabbing, because in all the other like previous games in the Soulsborne series, the backstab is initiated just by circling behind an enemy and then pressing R1. This one you have to do a charged attack while their back is turned. And so, you know, I went behind an enemy and hit R1 and nothing happened, and it was like, oh, okay, so that's that. Probably shouldn't have wasted it. Oh, here we go! Look! Well, I tried. I got the interrupt. I did not get the front visceral. Nope. I tried again. I shouldn't be wasting blood vials on this person, especially with the limited stock. Let's see. No. No. That's right. These enemies have like an armor thing going on. So if you don't... Oop, going for a grab. If you don't penetrate their armor, you do like very little damage to them. Uh-huh. Yep. Nope. The fist! I got hit by the punch! No! No! Ah! Get my actual scream mixed in there. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. This game, I wanted to do these episodes as like, maybe half an hour or so, but this is the first episode where we got a lot to thrown at us, right? We got a lot to process at the start of Bloodborne. We're exploring the unknown. We're exploring our limits, having a good time. So it sort of makes sense that we die several times. We get to do some enemies. We get some, a smattering of lore. We get a lot of strange things presented to us. We'll go a little bit long, right? So coming up on 45 minutes? I don't know. Maybe I'll go for an hour in the first episode. We'll see. I want to beat this guy. You can tell I'm a Soulsborne player. I want to beat this guy. I can't let him have the final word. We can't let that stand. It might be a waste of my time. I should turn to my Molotov cocktails. Limited resource as well. Even more limited than the blood vials are going to be. But, hold on. Look at that. Alright, 57? That is definitely, well, it's more than 16. But it's less than 75. Ooh, yeah! Ha ha ha! I get nothing for that, except the regular blood echoes. Oh, well, thanks for the blood vials. I think that's about all I used on the guy anyway, so not too far off. And of course, we've got our Quicksilver bullets, which are down to 9. But the thing about Quicksilver bullets, I can talk. The thing about Quicksilver bullets is I can press up on the D-pad and get 5 of them. And it takes some of my health, but I can heal back right there with my blood vial. So, let's get... Oh, these enemies are back. So, yeah, I'll just let them go on their merry way. I don't want to deal with these enemies. Okay, goodbye. Guy goes down once you penetrate his defenses. And there we go. And of course, the thing about the life or death struggles, that is the battles in Bloodborne, is you quickly get to the point, let's go talk to Gilbert, he'll give us a purpose. And then maybe we'll call the episode once we have an idea of what we're really supposed to be going for here. But the real joy of the difficulty, the life or death struggle, the back and forth, all these changes to the combat system are to encourage that feeling of, satisfaction when you finally overcome the terrifying challenge that loomed before you previously. So I think that's super cool. It's, like I was saying, you can tell I'm a Soulsborne player here. All right, let's go talk to Gilbert. I ignored him before. This is another thing. These windows with these, they look like lanterns. They're actually incense burners. You can sort of see the smoke coming up from this one. That's a sign that you can actually talk to the person behind, especially with the illumination behind these windows. And boy, did I not know that the first time I played this game. But once you do, you can sort of get a little bit more guidance than you would out of the game otherwise. So let's talk to this person here.
Oh, you must be a hunter. And not one from around here either. I'm Gilbert, a fellow outsider. You must have had a fine time of it. Yharnam has a special way of treating guests. Well, I don't think I could stand if I wanted to, but I'm willing to help if there's anything that can be done. This town is cursed. Whatever your reasons might be, you should plan a swift exit. Whatever can be gained from this place, it will do more harm than good. Paleblood, you say? Never heard of it. But if it's blood you're interested in, you should try the Healing Church. The church controls all knowledge on blood ministration and all varieties of blood. Across the valley to the east of Yharnam lies the town of the Healing Church, known as the Cathedral Ward. And deep within Cathedral Ward is the old Grand Cathedral, the birthplace of the Healing Church's special blood, or so they say. Yharnamites don't share much with outsiders. Normally they wouldn't let you near the place, but the hunt is on tonight. This might be your chance. Across the valley to the east of Yharnam, you'll find the Cathedral Ward. Deep within lies the old main cathedral, said to be the source of blood. I haven't heard of Paleblood, but that's your best bet if it's anything to do with unique types of blood.
Okay, so you remember that note from the start of the game that I spent way too long talking about. Seek Paleblood to transcend the hunt, etc. So we asked Gilbert, without any vocalization, of course, because why would our character be able to say anything? This is a video game. But anyway, the presumption is we asked this person about Paleblood, and they said, well, I don't know about Paleblood, but if you are here, this is the town of Special Blood, after all, sort of like the Blood Minister told us when he was scamming us into a transfusion. And at that point, we get the direction, sort of similarly, this is the place for Special Blood. You might want to check out the Cathedral Ward, and in particular, in the Cathedral Ward, you want to go to the Grand Cathedral. And maybe you'll find out something about Paleblood there. So now we have our direction. We know sort of what our immediate goal is. And we've also got an idea of how to go about getting there, which is across the town to the east. We get to the Great Bridge, and from there we get to the Cathedral Ward. So again, now that we have some idea of what our goal is supposed to be as we move forward through the game, I'm going to call the episode. So I hope you've enjoyed yourselves here revisiting Bloodborne with me on its 10-year anniversary, and I hope you'll join me in the next one. And until then, thanks for watching, everyone. Come on, gesture menu. Do I not have gestures yet? That's the wrong one. Here we go. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone.